Welcome to the Bourbon Experience. My name's Austin. Today I'm reviewing Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. Today I'm going to be reviewing all three of the new Heaven Hill Grain to Glass releases. Before I do that, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe. Helps my channel grow. I do a lot of giveaways. Being subscribed is one of the requisites to winning a sample giveaway. So make sure you get on that and stay tuned in the future for some cool sample giveaways. Now, as I get into this, these are three new mash bills from Heaven Hill, and it's called Grain to Glass. My understanding, Heaven Hill works with local farmers to pick specific corn seeds. So this would be a separate mash bill from any of the other releases that Heaven Hill does. And so I'm a big Heaven Hill fan. When I saw this come out, I was really excited. I was not sure if I was going to be able to get it at retail or anywhere near retail, so I really wasn't expecting to review these, but I was able to get these either at retail or super close to retail. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But we have a rye, a wheated bourbon, and a rye mash bill bourbon. Now I'm going to be starting with the lowest proof one, work my way up. And the first one is going to be their Rye Bourbon mash bill. Now this is 35% rye, 52% corn, and 13% malted barley, and it's 107 proof. These bottles look pretty cool. They all have the same style. The only difference is the color on the stripe here, which designates which one, and then obviously the mash bill and the proof. But the bottle shape, the bottle label is all the same. And the stopper is really cool too. It's got a Heaven Hill insignia on the top, and it says Heaven Hill around there. So the bottle actually looks pretty cool. Now I'm hoping these aren't just gimmick releases, but you never know with new releases from a big distillery, if it's just a cash grab or if they're putting out a good product or something. But I do have a lot of faith in Heaven Hill because I like most of their stuff quite a bit. So getting into this one. Oh, it's got a pleasant nose. Yeah, it's got a pleasant nose. The proof doesn't come through on it at all. It smells kind of like a lower proof bourbon rather than the 107. I get some of the corn, some caramel, some vanilla. I'll say the rye comes through. What did I say the rest of the mash bill was? Yeah, 35% rye, so that's a good amount of rye. And I'm picking that up on the nose. There's a little bit of herbaceousness, maybe not dill, but maybe like a eucalyptus thing, or like a little bit of that anise comes through. Yeah, I would say just more herbal-y in that respect. It's not like super floral, which I get with a lot of high rye bourbons. It's not super earthy. Now that I say that, maybe like just a little bit of earth, but it's not overwhelmingly earth, apple, floral, which I normally get with a higher rye bourbon. Yeah, really pleasant. Let's see. Okay, there is a little bit of chocolate. There's a little bit of apple, maybe. Some cinnamon on the finish for sure. Then there's kind of like a green, not really vegetal, not really pine, but just thinking of the color green when, and I'm not saying like youthy, but I think it is that like herbal quality, that eucalyptus thing attributed to the rye. But yeah, your brown sugar's in there too, your vanilla. The proof, I'd say it drinks a little bit below 107. Fairly easy drinking. Yeah, and then maybe like some kind of almond thing, like a orgeat, a almond syrup, or Di Serono, like an almond liqueur, something like that. That's nice. I don't know if that would be, $100-ish bottle. I think you could compare that to a lot of things that are out on the shelf right now. It is nice though. I like it. All right, let's move on to the wheated bourbon. The wheated one, I've only seen a couple reviews on these. The wheated one seems to be most people's favorite. Full disclosure, I had both of these or all three of these actually at a bottle share a couple nights ago, and I didn't really take too much away from it. I was trying a bunch of different things. That was pretty late into the night, so I would say I'm enjoying these more now, or at least the first one, more now than I did a few nights ago. So that's good. Oh, okay. That's super interesting. I'll say this is 121 proof, 35% wheat, 52 corn, and 13 malted barley. So literally the same mash bill, but just reversed, or just swapping out the wheat for the rye on this one, and then they up the proof on it. The color, I think on this one's probably a little bit darker than on the Rye Bourbon. Instantly more syrupy, instantly more sweet. The herbal thing's gone, obviously, because there's no rye in here. There might be a little bit of some red fruit in here, possibly. Syrupy, red fruit, brown sugar, all the bourbon stuff, but with like a red fruit syrupy quality to it. There is like a vanilla on the finish that lingers. A little bit of cinnamon or baking spice on the finish as well. I definitely prefer this one over the Rye Bourbon. I think something comparable to this might be the soft red wheat Rickhouse proof from Ben Holiday. Kind of give me the same vibes. I do think this is a better product than that one though, just off the first impression here. Yeah, then there's like on the nose, it has like this almost like a caramel corn thing to it, which typically isn't my favorite note, and I'm glad that didn't really translate to the palate. But yeah, that I would easily call the wheated is my favorite so far. All right, let me get into the rye whiskey. Now this is 123.2 proof, so very similar to the wheated bourbon, just a smidge higher. 63% rye, 24 corn, and 13 malted barley. So they didn't just swap the corn for the rye, and this one it's actually a little bit different. So let's see here. Okay, this smells like a rye for sure, definitely. Whereas the rye bourbon I said didn't necessarily have the like anise or dill, that pops through more so on this. I'm definitely getting some of that black licorice thing. Not too much pine, eucalyptus, maybe some earth. And I think as this opens up, those really traditional rye flavor is going to come through more, because just it's only been open a couple seconds. As I went back to nose it, it started smelling more like a traditional rye. Yeah, so like maybe the pine is starting to come through now, but let's see. Okay, it's very good. Tastes very much like a rye. I don't know if this one is, so it's very rye forward. It's pine, herbal, black licorice, earth, a little bit of chocolate. It is a little bit floral. I don't know if this is worth the $100, $130, whatever it is price tag, considering you can get some really good ryes for a lot cheaper. Maybe like an MGP 95.5 rye maybe a Knob Creek store pick rye, something like that. Maybe some other Heaven Hill ryes, Pikesville, something like that. It's really good. I do enjoy it. To me, this just doesn't stand out enough as on its own. It doesn't separate itself from the rest of available rye from the herd. I don't have any complaints about it by any means. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, now there's the oak and some barrel spices starting to be there. Not rye spice, but barrel spice. It's starting to be creeping up on the finish, which is really nice. Kind of balances out, gives a little bit of a darker, sweeter characteristic, which kind of offsets all those other typical rye notes. Just kind of balancing it out a little bit. You know, you could go out and get a rare breed rye. That would be just as good. I would even venture to say probably better than this. But it is a really good product. I think it'll get better the longer I have it and it opens up. Of the three, the wheated bourbon is clearly my favorite. But I don't know. Do I recommend going out and chasing all three of these just to have the set or the collection? I don't, and I wasn't even intending on buying all three of these. I wasn't intending on seeking them out. I just didn't really know what to think. They were offered to me at retail or maybe a smidge above retail. I don't know, honestly, but I said, okay, for that, being such a Heaven Hill fan, I can't pass that up. So I'm glad that I have all three. Would I buy another one of any of these? Honestly, I would probably only buy the Wheater again. Yeah, after drinking the rye, the sweetness and the fruitiness and there's almost like a dusty thing, not a dusty funk of like a really old bourbon, but like there's a thickness to it that really fills your nasal cavities, which is really nice. Yeah, I would seek out another one of these, or I'd buy another one of these if it was available and I ran out. It's probably the only one that I can truly recommend at that price point, with the decline in the bourbon market that we have and the availability coming up across the board on stuff. That's the easy buy of the three. 3-4 years ago, I probably would have wanted all of them and would have been bummed if I couldn't get all three. Today, with just how saturated the market is, this is the only one that I can truly recommend at this price point. But yeah, this wheated is great. I mentioned the Rickhouse Proof from Ben Holiday of the soft red wheat, also OWA. Probably get an OWA and this for probably similar price what you would get an OWA for, and probably similar availability between the two. I'd be happy with either of them, and I think that would be a good substitute for either one too. But that's where I'm going to leave this. As always, the bourbon experience is all about good pours and great times with whoever you're with. Was meant to be enjoyed, so crack those bottles. Cheers.